What is up, everyone? It's Ty here, and I'm with my good friend. Good friend.
Oh, that's me? That's my
Yeah.
Yes, is Matt Ferrara here, defnot_Matty. Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. So yes, this is our little podcast here, Game Boys Unplugged. And if you couldn't tell by the title, we're gonna be talking about games. We're boys who game. We're Game Boys. And this is just a little passion project of ours that's been just kind of like wanting to do it for a while. I think like I look back, it's like 6 months, and it's just like schedules not aligning and just life for at least me personally. And I'm just happy to finally be able to do this. I've wanted to do one in general for a long time. I used to do one like when I was way younger with another friend of mine, and it was mainly just shared amongst other people I knew, but it was just fun to talk for a while. And you got any thoughts to say?
No, I thought this was just for Fortnite. I thought we were getting together for a group. I didn't know we were doing a podcast.
I mean,
but no,
if that's like, what you want to do.
Yeah, I've been waiting to get into Fortnite, Ty. I know you play a lot of it. I've been waiting for the invite.
Yeah.
But that's exactly it. The Game Boys, not to be confused with Game Boy.
No,
don't tell
no.
Nintendo.
No,
I don't want to get a DMCA'd here or get a Nintendo lawyer at my door.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a great point, Ty. I was thinking about it myself. We both just love talking about video games.
Yep.
And, it's about, I love the sound of my own voice, so that's perfect.
Me too.
And, it's just like, it's so refreshing to be able to talk about something that you're just passionate about, right? I mean, that's, you're more in the content creation space, I would say. You're probably the realest content creator that I know. And, I dabble in streaming here or there. And, one of my favorite things to be doing on stream is just talking about games, right? And I know you've got that same passion. So thanks for setting this up. This is really Ty's whole gig here. He set this up. He got me involved. And I'm like, yes, I want to talk about games.
Gotta have two people. Gotta at least have two people.
Oh, I think you could probably fill the air, Ty, with your knowledge. You definitely could.
It would quickly become an echo chamber of me just being like, well, that's where you're wrong, and just start countering myself.
It would be split personality. You could, if you just record two, you could put yourself side by side. You have a whole episode there.
Like,
write that down. Write that down. For the next one. No, thanks for inviting me to this, Ty. Really, this is awesome. This is one of my passions, just like yours, is yakking on video games. I've been playing video games. I'm quite old, a little bit older than you. So I've been playing video games since the early 90s, before I could read, basically.
All right.
And it's just like, getting a chance to open up that passion to people, which I haven't been able to do. When I was growing up, really, video games were not something that you talk about in the open, right? They were like lurking in the shadows. Nowadays, you get a chance to do that. I'm so envious of kids who have that outlet. But growing up now and being older and just saying fuck it, I could just say whatever I want, is awesome for me. But thank you again for bringing me on,
dude. For sure. Like when I really felt the energy to finally want to do something like this, like seriously, I'm not even kidding, like first person.
Oh, stop!
No, I'm not, dude.
You told that to the first person.
I told that to the 6 other first people. But no, in all seriousness though, I am like once I finally was like, this is what I want to do, and like first person I hit up. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks. Well,
dude.
I mean, maybe we should talk about video games, I guess.
I guess.
I mean, we are here, right? What are you playing?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Been playing this. You opened up with Fortnite. That's what I've been honestly playing a ton of, is the new Fortnite Season 5 OG. Fortnite OG is what it's called.
Wait, before you go on, are you a Fortnite OG? Were you playing it all the way back then at the start?
I played it like way in the beginning, like before the seasons were really much of a thing. And then I was like, I don't get this. And then I played a bit like during like the second season of the game, and I was like, I still don't get this. And then like I don't know what it was. I think I just had like other, it's crazy to think about it. Like around the time I had did a little bit of like a podcast with another friend, that's who actually got me to start playing more Fortnite. And I was like, oh, I get this. I started playing chapter 1 season 3, which is like 6 years ago now, which is a scary thought to me.
Oh my god, that is a long. Well, so what? 6 years ago, you said. Now, for me, it feels like I never got into Fortnite, and I'm sad about that because I see how much fun everybody has playing Fortnite, and I love battle royales, and I wish I had done it. Now I feel like obviously I'm too late. And
Nah, this is the perfect time to pick it up.
If a millennial joins, then it's really going to be the death of Fortnite, so I can't really do that anyway. So I don't want to ruin that for everybody else.
Fortnite's died tons of times. It always comes back.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you say 6 years, though, I feel like it's been around for 10 years, 15 years. It's been so much in 6 years, and considering Fortnite has really changed the landscape of video games completely, like, I just feel like it's been around forever. When you say 6 years, I'm like, wow, that's really not that long.
No, I mean, like, it is weird to think about. Like, it's both a long time and not a long time at all, if that makes makes any sense. I think
It's been a long 6 years.
Yeah, it's been a long 6 years. I think the most important thing to think about with Fortnite is like the biggest change about it is, well, like, I mean, it didn't make battle royales, but it made battle royales for a while, like the thing you had to do. And it really is a trendsetter, whether people want to agree with that or not. I mean, like, collabs in video games, like, they existed obviously, but they weren't like as big of a deal, I feel, until Fortnite really started hammering them home.
And by collabs, you mean, like, and excuse my my lack of vernacular here, collaborations you're talking about?
Oh yeah,
like crossovers?
yeah. Like the first crossover was like, I can't remember if it was like the Thanos game mode the game had for Endgame, or like John Wick. It was like one of the two.
Oh yeah.
And just started going from there.
I mean, yeah, you're right. That's the thing that started all of these crossovers and all these other games, right?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Fortnite doing it with John Wick, you wouldn't have Snoop Dogg and Call of Duty,
no, yeah, probably not. Like, I mean, like I said, like, collabs existed for forever. I mean, like, when I think of collabs in video games, like, my mind goes to Smash Bros. Immediately. I mean, that is even though they're all like in-house characters, it's still a crossover.
But probably before Fortnite came out, right? That Super Smash Brothers was what, for the Wii, that came out with all the other characters.
Oh yeah, like third part.
Solid
Snake
coming out there shooting rockets and shit at Pikachu.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The GameCube was really close. Almost had, actually the N64 apparently almost had like GoldenEye character.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I think
that means there's something available for the next Super Smash Brothers. Finally, there are characters out there.
Finally,
Master Chief is going to be in Super Smash Brothers. I mean, like, that's a whole other can of worms, right? Super Smash Brothers. But to your point, like, Fortnite was it. Right?
Yeah.
That's the one that is, to me, in my mind, Fortnite is like the multiverse of video games. Right? It's what every like studio wants to have. Like, if you think about the way that I think about it is like, if you're thinking about Ready Player One being a reality, right, in this sort of metaverse, it's Fortnite already. You've got every character from every major franchise. You can buy their skin and you can just be them. And that just like is fascinating to me. And like I said, I'm sad that I missed it. I missed every single dance. I missed every single challenge. I missed every single collab. I want to get back into it.
Hop on, dude. I asked like the other day, when you hopping on, you gotta hop on.
All right, I'm gonna put my flag in the sand here and say I will someday in the future play Fortnite. So you've been playing Fortnite?
Yeah.
A lot of Fortnite. That's good.
And it's been really great. It's just like, reminds me like a lot of what I like about the game, and that's pretty much the main thing. Played a decent amount of the new Call of Duty multiplayer.
Oh, you
Yeah,
have that, huh?
yeah, yep.
So they suckered you in. How many
Yeah,
dollars? How many doll hairs did you spend on that?
like like the cosmetics or like you
No,
mean?
the new game. Like just
Oh,
buying
oh, I
the
just bought the
flat.
base one. So it's like what, 60 or 70?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. That's probably the game that I'm most curious about now. Tell me, what are your thoughts?
It's very fun, like the multiplayer itself.
Hmm.
I get the general criticism, like I have no interest in the campaign. I heard the
Mm-hmm.
campaign is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been the best campaign of all time. Maybe I would have played it if people said that, but honestly, there's a good chance I never would have played it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So no campaign, and I don't blame you there because
yeah,
I've also bought the last 2 or 3 Call of Duties, and I've never touched a campaign, and I frankly never would, even if they said it was the best campaign on the planet. I never would have
yeah.
touched it.
It
So,
just doesn't have the same vibe it used to, so like I don't
oh yeah,
care.
throw that to the side.
Yeah.
Now multiplayer. Tell me about multiplayer.
It's the the thing about the multiplayer is like the old, like all the maps are technically not new, they're just remade, and some people cite that as lazy and stuff, and I get it both ways. It's like it's not like they just put the old maps in the game. Like it took time, some
Mhm.
time, but I mean apparently the game only took like a year or a year and a half to develop, so it's
So, well,
basic.
oh, I thought all of them. Well, so they're not all on a year development cycle. I guess they're
No,
developing
it's
as the other ones are
yeah,
coming out, different studios, right?
it's probably like 3 or 4 at a time, giving like
Hmm.
3 or 4 years in between each one.
Right.
But the thing is with like the newest one, like this one specifically, it has a bunch of the stuff from Modern Warfare 2, like every gun, and that's part of what makes it really fun is because there's a lot of stuff to mess around with, and you basically have like 2 games worth of stuff to mess around with in one game, which is kind of cool.
And well, so now you're talking just maps, and you're talking about maybe like guns and stuff. But
Yeah, gun.
gameplay wise,
Gameplay
tell me,
wise,
tell me about the multiplayer gameplay because this is what interests me the
yeah.
most, right? Like, I want to know, is it any different gameplay wise than the last 2 Call of Duties?
I would say like I mean yeah, you still die fast. Like that's why I honestly like Call of Duty. The time to kill is it's short and you respawn quickly. Like
Hmm.
I mean you're in and out, in and out. Well, hopefully you're not out. You should probably not try to die. But if you are, you get back in the fight quickly, and that's great. You do, but it does feel like it takes a little bit more to kill some people, and I kind of like that as well. Um,
Well, that's interesting
yeah,
because that
they,
that's appealing to me because I
yeah,
hate the in and out, in and
yeah,
out. And I used to be a big fan of Call of Duty, and I bought the last 2 Call of Duties. And every time I started playing the multiplayer, I was like, "Oh, this is pretty fun. This is pretty fun." And then all of a sudden, a week in, all it is I'm running out of my spawn, I'm getting hit with a grenade, and I'm starting over, or I'm
yeah.
getting one shot with a sniper
Yeah,
rifle, or I'm
then,
getting like
y-
shot in 2 seconds, and it's so incredibly frustrating to a point where I said to myself, this is just not fun. And
yeah,
the only reason that I'm playing these multiplayer games is to level up the guns so I can take them into Warzone, which I'm most interested in.
hmm
But like, if the multiplayer is exactly like that in this one, I really want to avoid getting it. And I love
yeah,
Call of Duty.
yeah.
I've
Then,
played probably the most out of any game is Warzone and Call of Duty. So
yeah. Honestly, you might want to avoid it. Like
mm,
the maps are small. Like it's like one of the big ones are is Rust and High Rise. Those aren't huge maps,
mhm.
especially Rust. I don't really care too much about the spawn dying cycle because eventually I find a spot where I'm like, it's really just like getting that little rush of like a 10 kill streak or something, and then I could
Mm.
die 12 times after that, but I hold on to the enjoyment a little bit. But I do get the not liking. A lot of the maps are small or linear, so you are spawning and dying. It happens. And at the moment, the spawns don't seem quite right. Like something seems wrong with it. So
I have heard that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and like so, it sounds to me, and everything that I've seen really, and I can't speak on it myself. It just seems like very similar to all the other Call of Duties
Well, I
that
mean,
have come out. And
it's
I know they brought like some of the mechanics back from 2 Call of Duties ago, the slide
yeah, the
canceling.
slide.
You notice that like gives you a little bit more of an edge in like one-on-one fights?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
like being able to
I feel
dodge.
like if you're not like sliding or dolphin diving or crouch like fire like or I can't think of it like I literally the word was on the tip of my tongue and I can't
Slide
think of it.
cancel.
Not
You gotta
slide cancel, but like drop shotting. That's what it is.
Oh, you gotta drop shot it.
Yeah, like if you're not doing like this, like, but the thing is, like the slide is really fun. I love it. I'm a big fan of Titanfall. The faster I can go in my multiplayer games, the better. And I know people like they look at. I've seen it online where people complain like people trying to go really fast in Call of Duty, and they're like, oh, they just want to play Titanfall. It's like, I do. That's exactly why I try to like use every bit of speed. I'd rather be playing Titanfall, yeah, but like Titanfall is kind of dead. I mean, it might be coming back.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Someday
I
it'll be back.
I know,
or you
dude.
Could just play Apex, but
bro,
yes,
I don't want
see
to
what
play.
you're saying.
I don't want to play no Apex.
If you want Titanfall, there's nothing better than Apex,
dude.
But go on. I digress.
Well. Yeah, I've been liking it though. I get the complaints. If you didn't really like the last couple, especially if you didn't like Modern Warfare 2, probably don't want to get it. Just because it's realistically an expansion of Modern Warfare 2. They don't want to say it because then people like look at it differently, even though like I don't understand how this is like now the time people start looking different at Call of Duty. It's like
right.
But
getting burned after the last two are kind of, it's like, burn me once, shame on you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So interesting on the multiplayer. Now, for me personally, I know what's going to happen is once Warzone comes out, which is the first week in December, I think, all of my friends are going to be playing it nonstop, and that's when I'm going to get in on it. Now, the question for me is that Warzone version going to be good? So obviously Verdansk came during right before COVID into COVID, and it was the game of the year, right? Every person on the planet was playing Warzone. It was the biggest thing since sliced bread, and I played a lot of it. And all of my friends were doing it constantly, right? Because you couldn't go anywhere, you couldn't do anything, so it was like everybody was getting on Warzone every single night. So if this Warzone is anything like that, and it sounds like it will be, because mechanically, you're telling me the gameplay is very similar to Modern Warfare 2 or whatever that first remake was, right?
Yep.
So slide canceling back, speed is back, time to kill is a little bit better. It sounds like as long as they bring back Verdansk POIs, which I've heard are very big in this one, right? Like I've seen the multiplayer maps and they look exactly like Modern Warfare 2 POIs, which was the Warzone Verdansk map, which everyone loved. If that's going to be a big hit, which I think it will be, I'll be playing a lot of it. I'll probably buy it, because the only way you can be competitive in Warzone is to level up the guns in multiplayer. So I'm going to have to like bite the bullet and do that, which stinks.
I mean, I feel like also though, if you're playing with friends, you can still find enjoyment. The more people, the better in those multiplayer games, I'd say. That's my opinion
for
on that.
sure if you're playing with friends, but if your friends think that you stink because you don't have all the leveled up guns, you're not going to have a good time. And like I want to be there, and I want to be competitive also.
Yeah.
So it's going to end up being exactly like the last 2 Call of Duties for me, which is it's going to be a necessary evil, is to play the multiplayer, play Shipment or Shoot House or something for 3 hours until you level up the meta gun, and then a week later after the update, a new meta gun comes out and you got to play Shipment or Shoot House or something to level up the gun. So that's coming. But I think there's a silver lining there, because I heard, and now you can tell me also, that the zombies mode is interesting.
I haven't played it. I've never been a zombie guy. I will say, my friend that I play with has tried getting me to play it, and I will say this is the closest I've ever like felt interest. I've heard mixed things though. Like it's kind of like when I was watching it, kind of just feels like it lost the personality. Like I don't know.
I could see that.
It's just kind of open world. It's really just the what was the mode that wasn't
DMZ?
Warzone? Yeah, it's kind of looks like just like that with like zombie AI in it, and nothing wrong with that. But like, I will like the one thing I liked about zombies was the aesthetic. It was all grungy a lot of the times. I mean, it looked like a zombie apocalypse. This just looks like Call of Duty that has zombies in it, which I couldn't really care much less because I didn't ever really have any stakes in zombies, but
Oh yeah, and each of those modes had that personality, right? There was the '80s zombie one.
the
There
one with
was
like the world leaders was funny.
there was the world leaders one. Those all had a little bit of personality. I totally
Yeah.
see that. As far as a game mode goes, though, I think they basically beta tested this mode in Outbreak. I don't know if you remember Outbreak mode for zombies in Black Ops 2 was the one two versions ago or something. I don't remember. But they had this sort of open world where you were going and doing objectives and blah blah blah. And then the DMZ mode came out, the next Call of Duty, and everybody loved. And I feel like they married those two modes together and brought zombies in. And exactly to your point, you're proving exactly what I heard is like, this is very polarizing, right?
Yeah.
People either love this new version of zombies or they hate this new version of zombies. Like, I never got into the round-based version of zombies. Like, to me, that seems, I don't know, it seemed like a shooting gallery. It seemed kind of lame. Like, it seemed very akin to single player, and we don't really care about single player that much. But this open world version of zombies actually has me intrigued because you're not like just shoot like in a shooting gallery. It looks like as they come wave after wave after wave in this little tiny map. You've got all of these options to go around and these Easter eggs and these things to find. It sounds cool. It actually sounds cool.
I do like that. Is kind of the more open aspect of it interests me. I just wish it like visually was a little
had a little bit more panache.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe they could do that in a future update. Next time you see John McCain and Snoop Dogg running around in the open world fight zombies, you'll probably be talking another tune.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. See Lilith and
yes, exactly.
Lilith and Skeletor team up.
Finally, the crossover we needed. Call of Duty Zombies with Lilith and Skeletor.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm interested. I'm really surprised that you're playing it. I didn't realize that, so I'm glad that you're giving me the scoop on it, whether or not I should buy it. I know I probably will.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you'll. I don't know. I mean, I think you'll end up. By the sounds of it, you'll definitely end up getting it. It's not a probably. It's just a matter of when.
They've got me. They know.
You should.
Activision knows.
Here's my proposal. Do it now. Start leveling up stuff now while people are bad. The last night I went 32-8 with a sniper.
Damn.
This is my first like Call of Duty with mouse and keyboard. And yeah.
Wait, so I can count you in on Warzone then when it comes out. You're gonna hit the Battle Royale. I need duos.
You're gonna have to, dude. I can't do no Warzone, man. Crazy.
Well, I don't know if you were around back in the day. We had a little ditty called Warzone Wednesday happening.
I heard.
Could be coming back. Well, we'll see. If Warzone is good. But I think this kind of begs the question here, Ty, is since single player was so poorly received, right? Let's just say, and people really were disappointed. Is it time for Microsoft, as the new company that owns Call of Duty, right, to put a bullet in single player now, finally? Because who is going out there? I mean, I'm sure there's people out there.
Yeah.
There's got to be. Who are going out there and buying for the single player. But I think if you dig into the numbers, you'll probably see a larger amount of people who skipped the single player altogether and just played multiplayer, at least for the last couple of
I can't think of what the Call of Duty was that skipped single player or said it was gonna skip single player and eventually had one, or
Mm,
like the one after had one. I don't remember. I feel like it was the one before Black Ops 4.
yeah,
I don't know,
maybe. I can't remember that,
but
but they all
but
kind of blend together.
yeah. But the thing is, like, people lost their mind when that
Oh,
happened.
really?
Yeah, and so that's why they brought it back. And
Mhm.
then they then it was like revealed that like no one finished it pretty much. I mean, that's the case. Like, that's the case with a lot of single player. That's just the reality of single player games in general. Like, it's not a nice statistic to look at where how many
Mm,
people actually finish a game now. And that Call of Duty's case is a lot different story. But like, it's just like, I mean, I would say like on average for like a lot of single player games, maybe only like 34% of people. I'm just throwing a number out there. This is what I
mhm.
believe.
This is you gotta
34% of
mark this
people.
down. This is
30.
true.
Yeah, this is true.
34% of people.
100% facts. It may be 100% fact, but it's only 34% of people that finished like the game, like like on average. Like if you took like a game on average, probably like 34% of people, and
Yes.
I feel like that gets lower with like RPGs, but like higher with
Sure.
platformers. You know, like short games versus long games.
Yeah, but I think
But
what we're seeing here in the numbers is
yeah,
people are not engaging with single player
no,
at all. It's
with
not like they started it and maybe they couldn't finish
yeah,
it or maybe they got into a
I
tough part.
I
I mean,
literally
there's got to be a
yeah.
statistic out there.
Oh no, like they just probably
There's
don't
got to
want to.
be.
No, yeah, that like it's all online, so they probably can find it out somehow. And like with things like trophies and achievements, like
Hmm.
I mean, you can probably see like how many people got like complete the first mission or something.
Hmm.
And it's probably ugly. I can guarantee.
It's got to be.
And I think if they act single player, like unless they can make single player like genuine, like have like really interesting like war stories again or something.
Hmm.
It's like I don't need it to feel like a movie, but there's just something about like the Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3 stories that just like felt interesting. Like they weren't like
Hmm.
super like movie-esque, if that makes sense, but
Yeah.
they also it felt more mission. I say movie-esque, but it didn't feel like an actual war story like they kind of do now is what they feel like. But it felt more Mission Impossible-esque, if that makes sense. It was a
Mm.
lot less grounded.
More
Uh,
adventure-y.
yes, more adventure-y, more like action, more. It just doesn't. It didn't. It felt realistic, but it didn't feel real.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah, I
feel
could
like
see
there's
that.
a too heavy grasp on this want of like this connected story and realism, and it's just like just make an interesting story and call it a day.
Well, I just think of it as all the resources that went into making this poor single player here
Yeah,
maybe could have been changed or focused on better multiplayer, better
and
options in the DMZ
I
or
think part
you
of the
know.
problem is like this got canned in, like just shoved in at the last minute. I don't think this was ever. There was rumors originally that Modern Warfare 3 was going to just be like a DLC expansion.
Yep, I've heard that.
And then they're like, "Oh no, it's full release and basically it's a DLC expansion."
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what they got.
I think there's like, especially if you didn't play Modern Warfare 2, this is an insane Call of Duty for your buck. Like if this was all new to you, this is eventually going to add Modern Warfare 3 maps, like old Modern Warfare 3 maps, and I think I thought I saw something talking about they want to add Modern Warfare 2 maps in the rotation eventually.
Heard that too. Yeah,
So like it is like there's an undeniable amount. There's a ton of content in this one.
sure.
Uh like so I don't think it's not worth the price just because the single player sucks. But yeah, no, you raise a great point. If Microsoft should just like axe this series single
Maybe I mean
player.
I don't know if it's the right thing, but maybe it's something that they consider going
Yeah.
forward. Or what if they just did something where they took a whole new spin on it, right? A whole new
Mm-hmm.
spin on storytelling. What if they built in the story to the multiplayer? Like axe the single player, but tie cutscenes and videos and montages and stories around achievements in multiplayer. Every single map, if you win, let's say your team wins, you get the option to see a story, right? To see something
Yeah.
that pushes the lore further. And then if you beat all of the maps or you win on all of the maps, maybe you get a special cutscene, or maybe there's achievements built in, right? If you are the person who finishes and wins with your team and doesn't die once, maybe there's something special there. And then developers don't have to build any new single player maps, which it doesn't sound like they did in this game, but they don't need to build any single player instances, and they just come up with these sick cutscenes that push the
Yeah.
lore timeline forward. What if they just did something like that,
I
or
wouldn't be. I mean, I wouldn't be against it. I think like when we were talking about zombies, the a big takeaway from that was like the personality, and in general, it just feels like Call of Duty has gotten way too like wants to be real. Like I miss like Black Ops 4 is probably my favorite. That feels like that used to be a controversial thing to say.
Black Ops 4 is not the Black Ops that they re-released 2 games ago.
No.
The one before Vanguard. What is that in Black Ops?
What?
There was there was Black Ops something, and then there was Vanguard, and then there was this one.
Black Ops 4?
New one. Is that what that was? Black Ops 4? See, I can't
no, I'm talking about like the actual Black Ops 4.
The original Black Ops 4.
There's only like one or two Black Ops for like the new Call of Duty wave.
Well, yeah, there's one new Black Ops.
Yeah.
2 games ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what we would consider that. You can't even keep the titles at this point, let alone the story.
But I'm saying Black Ops 4 was like Black Ops 4 was frowned upon for like the reasons I liked it. I still liked it for the same, like Black Ops 3 and 4 are some of my most favorite because going back to Titanfall, the movement was great, the guns were cool, the power-ups were cool, the maps were fun. There's like 3 or 4 had like a water park as a map. It just was fun. Like they wanted to have fun. Yeah, it was a water park.
Sounds like good. You go down down the tube.
It's literally what you would do.
Really?
And
watch out for the wave pool.
I kind of miss like silly crosshairs. I don't even think you can like change like the dot sight on like.
Oh no, that's very meta. Now. If
like
you get like the certain dot, the red dot, blue dot, 1.2 time X.
Yeah,
it's all built in. It's all baked.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know. I miss having a mustache as my crosshair or a smiley face. It was fun. It was like it was silly. Like, and you had to like grind for it. So like if they axed the single player and add more stuff to like grind for, like silly things like that, and like just more stuff to like achieve, I would be down for it because I just don't care about the single player anymore unless they want to go back and figure out how to find that magic. Be my guest, but they probably won't, because the reality is like most people are attached to those games because that's when it really started taking off. And
listen, your lips to Microsoft's ears on that. I'm 100% behind you with it. And I'll put a stake in this. Now, Microsoft, if you're listening, here's the idea. This is what you do, okay? Just look me in the eyes here. This is what you do. Axe the single player, take the multiplayer, and build a story around Kaleidoscope. Have you ever seen Kaleidoscope, Ty? Have you heard of this?
No, that's
a couple years
ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago, this came out on Netflix, and essentially what it was a 8 or 9 episode
is that
series,
the
miniseries
thing where you could watch it in any order?
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's it. And play the multiplayer in any order you want. Obviously, you can't choose the maps, right? So let's say you join I don't know, Dust or whatever the maps are named these days. And if you win on that map, you get a story segment. And no matter which one in which order you get, they all fill together into a large narrative. And once you complete all of the maps and win, you get to finish the story at the end. You get that cutscene. If you don't want to see the cutscene, you skip it. Boom. $1 million idea. Ship it. Hire me. Hire me, Microsoft. Let me quit my day job. And then do the same thing for Warzone. You know, let's say you get first place in Warzone. Give a special cutscene that like ties everything together. Zombies, same thing. You finally get to the end and you kill Uber Lilith or whoever's in the middle. Boom, cut zone. Lock
Yeah.
it in.
Locked,
Free advice.
locked
Not that
in.
they need it. Well, Call of Duty's huge.
Yeah.
It's big on the horizon. Anyway.
So I think good on moving on in Call of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's Call of Duty.
Yeah.
You run out and you shoot things.
Well, I think it's important to ask, like, what have you been playing, man?
Ooh.
What have you?
What have I been playing?
You talked about Warzone a bit.
Yeah, I've got Warzone on the horizon for sure. You know, you mentioned Titanfall 2. I'm still playing Apex probably like every other night with anybody who wants to play. So like I'm jumping in, just shooting around with a lot of fun. That game's got the movement that you want. That game's got the competitiveness that you want.
I wish it did.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible at it, but it's good. It's still fun. On the back end, which I'd love to get into if we've got time, been playing Baldur's Gate. Gotta love that Baldur's Gate.
Oh yeah.
It like hits the right notes for me nostalgia wise. It's a great game. Problem is it requires a lot of focus. Like sometimes I just want to play video games and turn my brain off, and this one's like, okay, I gotta focus, gotta make the right choices, otherwise I might die and lose 3 hours of looting shit or something. I'm exaggerating, not 3 hours, but playing that on the side, I'm getting through it. You know, I'm scratching the surface little by little. I probably got like 30 hours in it or something. I haven't gotten out of Act 1. So I'm playing that. It's great. On stream, I've been playing Cyberpunk. You know, finally picked it up. Haven't run into a glitch yet. I think I picked it up at the right time, which is years after they fixed it.
I've really wanted to play that.
Highly recommended. The story is great if you want to like really think about the story, but it's a little bit goofy, you know, because the world doesn't quite make sense. Like you could just slice up anybody, you know, that looks at you funny, and it's like, okay, no consequences, just keep running around. You know, it's a little bit goofy, but it does make you feel like a super cyber Superman basically on the street. So that's always fun. I'm waiting to get into the DLC. I've got the DLC. I would love to see Idris Elba. I want to see him upstage Keanu Reeves. I don't know if it happens. I'm excited for it. That game's great. Might be on my top, you know, games of the year list for me. Also playing Super Mario Wonder.
Oh
which
yeah,
is wonderful.
Oh
they
yeah,
did a great job.
Yeah,
Fantastic game. Charming.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good.
It's got personality coming out of its wazoo.
Yeah, all out the wazoo.
That's a lot coming out of that wazoo. It's inspired me to play more platformers. I think probably after that I'm gonna check out Celeste because I've been waiting. And it's so fun. I mean, the game is so good. And
yeah.
I know we're going to talk about it probably, but like, you know, it's just so colorful. It looks great. I love how they changed the 2D animations a little bit. So like, you know, he's always looking at you.
Yeah.
I love the innovation that they did with the vibrations. So when you bounce on those little bricks, they make a noise out of the vibration.
Yeah,
like, what?
It's super cool.
And the platforming is good. And every damn level, they like spin it on its head.
Right.
You know, like when you get one of those weird acid flowers, somehow, the ceiling's the floor and the floor is the ceiling, and you're in and out, you're in the background. It's great.
I think the craziest thing to like note on that is just like every level. I just feel like every level had its own gimmick, which is insane to me. Did you beat the game?
About how much... No, I haven't beaten it yet.
All right, I'm glad.
It's not very long, right? It's got to be like 10, 15 hours, maybe?
I mean, it's all dependent on like what you do and everything like that. Like if you go through like picking up everything, finding every secret exit, it probably could be like a 30-hour game. Like I mean, it's. I mean, like I'm just saying that. Like I'm not gonna 100% it. I'm never really 100%ing kind of guy. There's very specific things, but like it's really like skill based, I would say, like how fast you could finish it.
I could see that for sure. Yeah, I probably won't 100% it. I'm gonna really enjoy my time with it. To your point, every single level being a little bit different. Can you just think about the development that went into that?
They had no deadline. That's
Well,
why.
that's
That's
great.
why it's like. That's why it's amazing. It's just they had all the time in the world to perfect everything, and it paid off.
I mean, I could just see somebody at a whiteboard like, okay, what if instead of grass, it was all, crystal meth? It's like, oh, write it down.
Write it down.
Get in there.
DLC.
It's
DLC.
cotton candy now. No, it's fantastic, and that kind of like really makes a lot of sense to me now, because after playing Tears of the Kingdom and thinking about, wow, how did the developers come up with this stuff, right? And then Nintendo's doing it again. I don't know if it's any of the same
no
people that worked on it.
deadline. It's no
But whoa.
like it's a relaxed environment, like no deadlines.
Oh yeah, it's
I
got.
mean-
I mean, like no crunch. I would
No,
imagine.
no.
Even though I have to imagine a lot of it was developed in Japan, and Japan is known for its crunch culture.
But that's
in
the thing.
general.
They don't. But they don't though. Like Nintendo, Nintendo is like rated like, I think they like keep like 98% of their employees or something.
Yeah, but is that on a? Are you taking that in
Or,
the
like-
lens of a Japanese salaryman, or you're taking that in the lens of a U.S. worker? Because obviously, culturally, the Japanese have this culture of working in the office until midnight, and then waking up at 6 and coming back into the office, and that's just normal. That's
Yeah,
just,
but like,
regular.
but that's the thing. They're not normal there.
Oh, so they're abnormal from the rest of Japanese
Yeah.
culture. I see. Because
Yeah,
from what I understand, it's a pressure cooker.
Yeah. Oh, like the anime industry
Japanese
is
business.
terrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's like what you're describing right now. Like, it is terrible. Like Nintendo just they don't like support that crunch culture. Like Animal
Oh,
Crossing,
that's great.
like Animal Crossing, like it's funny when Animal Crossing came out and The Last of Us 2 kind of came out around the same time. Like a big talk about The Last of Us 2 was the horrible like crunch culture that was going on over at, was it Naughty Dog, right?
Naughty Dog, yeah.
Yeah, and
Very naughty of them.
it's funny like people, I don't know if like Nintendo themselves came out about it or what, but like in interviews with like people working on Animal Crossing talk about that wasn't like a thing.
That's not the case.
Yeah.
Oh no! You mean the Crash Bandicoot people did that?
I mean,
Oh my god!
I'm
what
sure
happened to that? How the mighty have fallen.
I'm sure it's the fact that probably hardly any of the Crash Bandicoot people still work there.
Oh no. Well, I mean, all I can say is that game is fantastic.
Yes.
It's charming. I love hearing every time I run past one of those little flowers with their goofy voices, it puts a smile on my face, And it's gonna inspire me to play other platformers that I didn't know that I wanted to play. Like maybe I want to go back and play Spelunky again, even tear my hair out. Like I want to pick up Celeste, I think. But that's a fantastic game. So I'm playing that, and I think that's pretty much it now for and New World. I'm back in New World, so I'm on
Okay.
New World again. Famous Amazon Studios New World came out with an update or a DLC or something in October.
What's
And that's
Amazon?
just Oh yeah, I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's like
Small
a little
indie
shop,
company?
commerce company,
Small indie-
e-commerce.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like Walmart.com, but for stuff.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
They make
Jeff
games.
Bezos has got me back.
Let's go.
But no, it's silly. That's like I was saying before. That's a turn my brain off kind of game, and just
Yeah.
mine some rock and chop down some wood and blah blah blah. So I'm in and out on that. But that's what I'm playing. Those are the
Nice.
games. I got games on the horizon. Call of Duty. I've been waiting for. I know the boys are gonna be playing a lot of Warzone when it comes out. I'm gonna be looking at maybe Spider-Man next. I hear the
Oh
Spider-Man.
man, that is
Here's
something I
big.
did for. Yeah, I've been working my way through that. It's good.
Oh, you've
It's
got it.
good. I do got it.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't played
Tell
any
me
in like a
more.
week, dude. I haven't played in like a week, but I will say if you haven't finished the first or second game, or I mean Miles Morales and the
Yeah.
first, you know what I mean. if you have not finished those, I mean, you don't have to, but do not plan on going back, because like the web swinging, they changed it like enough to make it like the thing is, I didn't feel like it was ever slow in the first place, but now it is so crazy, dude. It's crazy.
Better, because it was so much
Oh, it's
fun in the
better.
last
Oh,
one.
it's better, dude. It's so much better. I didn't think like that's the thing. I didn't think it was gonna be able to be like, okay, well, I mean, I guess this is kind of cool, you know. That's how I thought I was gonna go into it, because I'm like, it's not new, but they somehow made it feel new, and like, I really appreciate like the fact that this is like a trending like a little bit of like a topic, and I guess this is maybe a little bit of a segue into what we're gonna do next. You know, there's
Like
a big headline going around about like Venom not being weak to fire in the game. Which
I
is
did not hear that.
Oh, it was kind of like at least
so
I've
you're
seen.
telling me once I play, don't go with the fire suit. Make sure I don't have fire Spider-Man suit. Don't build into that tree.
Is that I don't know if is that a thing?
I don't know.
I was gonna
No
say that'd
idea.
be hilarious if you could just start flamethrowing your enemies. I'm like, but they like I'll leave it at that because I don't want to go too much into it or anything. But really, just they chose like coolness over comic book accuracy in the right ways. In the right
That's
ways.
That's great, and I appreciate that out of video games, because that's what video games should do, right? Take whatever source material and make it more fun to play, even if it breaks the source material.
Yes, it's good. You're gonna like it when you get to it.
Awesome. I think that's gonna be my next. So after Cyberpunk, I'm probably gonna move into that Spider-Man. Try to get more pictures of Spider-Man.
Get me pictures of Spider-Man on my desk.
So that should be fun. I mean, I beat Miles Morales. I liked it.
Yeah.
I wasn't in love with it, but I'm not in love with 3D action games, 3D action platformers. Like I don't wake up in the morning for those. But I will play this because I think it's, I'm sure it's going to be on a lot of Game of the Year lists. I want to experience the web slinging. I want to see what they did with New York City. Like when I played through Miles Morales, I think it was kind of right at the end of COVID, right? Everybody's kind of like emerging. And one of the like awesome things about it is you saw all of these New York landmarks that you're in. And I was like, oh my God, how did they render the Empire State Building? How did they do Times Square? How did they do this? And I hear from what I'm here for this one, it's that much better, right?
Yeah,
so they've
there's a
expanded
lot.
it even more.
It's
Coney
huge.
Island. I'm freaking 20 minutes from Coney Island, but I haven't been there in years. I'd love to see what that looks like.
Dude, you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it, I think.
I like any media that makes New York City a character in it, right?
Yeah.
There's certain television shows and movies and video games that make the location that they're in almost feel like it's part of the cast. Most recently, I don't know if you ever watched Only Murders in the Building.
Dude, I started watching that. It's
great
good.
show.
Yeah.
Great show. That makes New York City a character, right?
Yep.
New York City's referenced in and out all the time. This Miles Morales did the same thing. Like and books, television shows, movies, like any Woody Allen movie, like all of these things, right? So that's like maybe that's just my bias. So I've got to play this game. I can't wait to swing around Brooklyn Army Terminal or whatever the hell they go. That's going to be very exciting for me.
Yeah,
but I think
you'll
on
like
the
it
horizon
then for sure.
Oh, I can't wait. But that is definitely on the horizon for me. And that's it. I think for what I'm playing.
Nice.
Mostly, I think the rest is what I'm thinking about. That's it. Thinking about games all the time.
Yeah. No, I mean, who isn't? I hope.
Yeah.
Hope
everybody.
If you made it this far, you probably think about games a little bit too. Just probably a little bit. So yeah, we're talking about a bit about headlines. Talk a little bit about the big Switch, the Switch rumor. I feel like there's been the Switch 2 rumor every day before the Switch even came out. But the new one is that it's got like this dual screen looking like a flip phone type action.
Dual screen. Who would ever think of that?
Dude, who would do that? Yeah, it's
Wow.
the it's the
So
it's the
okay.
hot thing to do again.
What's old is new
What's
again. I
old is
mean,
new.
but that's the rumor, right? And
Yeah, well, it's
Nintendo
because
has
of a
said that that's
patent.
not true.
Yep,
Oh, it
that's
was
the thing. It
patented.
was a patent, and that's the thing about patents is like there could be 6,000 of them. None of them could mean anything. Maybe
True.
one might, but
Hmm.
most of the time it's just nothing. It's just like they had an idea and they're like, well, just maybe.
Yeah, I missed that episode when Nintendo was on Shark Tank. I missed
Hey,
that one
yeah,
where they came out with the patented Nintendo Switch DS. Switch
yes,
DS.
switched.
Switches is a.
They could call
But
it the
okay, so they're denying.
Switchblade. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh well, that's Razer's new peripheral.
Yeah. But yeah, they're
But
denying, like, and it's so hard to know with them. Nintendo is a fun company in the sense of their word is very hard to decipher, but when the president, I believe is the president of the company, said, like, oh, just, like, ignore that, we don't got any plans for Switch 2 being announced right now or something. And I think that's true because they probably are going to keep, like, I think, the more I think about it, I think they want to keep the Switch brand as much as they can. And they might even just go, like, a pro route of the Switch. I don't know.
you mean on top of an OLED that they
Like an
this
actual,
new.
like, powerful one that
Hmm.
plays more better games. I
Hmm.
think they're going to want to be very careful with how they transition people into a new Switch. But
Hmm.
I think they'll
Well,
do it. They'll figure it out.
well, I mean, if you think about it from a business perspective, right? They would have to deny this. Like, it wouldn't make
Well,
any sense for them to say, "Oh yeah, sure, that's exactly what we're working on," because that
yeah,
would completely undercut
but
any announcement or any
right,
buzz or
but
even original Switch sales. Like, you
y-
have to just come out and say no, whether or not it's true.
right. However, part of the thing is about saying it's not true and then it being true soon after, like, because the thing is they announced it like really close after they talked about their like numbers, like how good these games are selling, like to get investors interested in stuff. So it's not a good
Hmm.
idea to tell investors, oh, we're not planning on doing this, and then
Yeah.
be like, oh yeah, you know what, actually we are doing this, tricked you.
Well,
uh
I think
I
only
mean,
if the investors expect that they are doing it, then it might. Well, I think there's a lot of head games that go on,
yeah,
right,
well,
with
yeah, but I
investors.
just think being around the time of an investor meeting is not a good idea to not be honest.
Sure, yeah. But
And
I
it's
mean,
possible investors
companies
might
do
know
this all
more.
the time. Like this happens constantly. I really feel like they would be doing themselves a disservice to say,
Oh
"Oh,
yeah,
that leak is true.
yeah,
You
no,
know, we
they,
did it. That's it."
well,
So
right.
we had a whole launch
Well,
planned in Q2 that we were
it's
gonna run up our numbers, and our numbers are looking
they
really good now.
don't.
So
I mean, you gotta understand though. Switch 2 rumors have been like there's gotta be like one or two like big ones a month, and there's probably like one every
uh,
day. That's the thing. So the fact they acknowledge this one because this one
yeah,
was getting a
wasn't
lot of
actually
traction.
if you would know this for certain, and I don't know if I'm remembering correctly, but when the Switch OLED came out, wasn't there like a big Bloomberg story about the Switch 2 coming out, and then it turned out to be an OLED or something like that?
There,
Did something like that happen?
well, it's possible something like that. Well, okay, before the OLED came out, it was like a talk, the big talk of like what's next, like a more powerful
Hmm.
Switch, and then it just was revealed to be an OLED model. However, there has been like Bloomberg and stuff like reporting like really recently at I think was it the most recent is either PAX West, I believe it was, where like there's talk that they showed like a Switch 2 behind closed doors to other developers and stuff.
Yes.
And that got a lot of traction and stuff, and the big thing was like it can do it's like a PS5, it can do ray
Right. Yes,
tracing.
the
It was
PS5
playing
thing.
Final
Right.
Fantasy 7. It
Oh, it
it
played World of Warcraft on
it
mobile.
was playing, it was auto playing Clash of Clans for you. It had Halo Infinite 2.
Master Chief, no.
Master Chief was in Mario Wonder. It was
Oh my
crazy.
god,
It
it's
was
about damn
crazy.
time.
But yeah, it was like I'm saying though, Switch 2, it's just weird to me that they felt this one had gained enough traction to be like that's not the
Oh,
case, and we're
full
like
deniability.
right, and I feel like the whole double screen thing did not get nearly as much traction as some of these like bigger articles got, especially the PAX West one being behind closed doors, showing these games on the Switch and stuff. Like they didn't even say anything about that, and that's weird to me. Like I'm not in the
Oh,
I think it would be cool if they call it like the Super Nintendo Switch or something. Like I
ooh.
would like that name, but as a marketing standpoint, I don't know if that's a great name for it.
Hmm. Well,
um,
they're gonna have to use that super name at some point on
maybe
something. It's
they
just too good not to.
right, but they want to be careful. I'm sure after the Wii U, trying to transition people from a
Hmm.
similar console to a new one. That's the whole like one of the big reasons people say the Wii U failed is because like the brand was it was honestly just too deep into the brand where people thought it was just like a where Nintendo wanted to be a Wii successor and people saw it as like a better Wii that they didn't need.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
like people knew what it kind of was but not good enough, and that's what I think they were going to be really careful of with the Switch,
Interesting.
and I don't blame them because the Switch is like on track, I think, still to beat the PS2 in sales. So
Mm-hmm. So it's the biggest maybe that they've ever
maybe,
had. You
yeah.
wouldn't want to mess with that brand.
And
Um,
frankly, like I get the perspective. Like, you were talking about like the company wanting to protect itself and stuff, like by not announcing anything too early. I don't even see why they would want to announce a new Switch. As much as I want a more powerful Switch, I mean, the first party Nintendo games are super insanely high quality,
mm-hmm.
aside from Pokemon. And like, and that's coming from someone who loves Pokemon. That's a whole different thing. But
But Arceus didn't scratch your itch.
oh, I loved it. I like what they're doing. It's just they're not quality. Like, look at them; they're
Mm-hmm.
an eyesore.
Right. There was flat
Arceus
textures
is a
and
was like it does some things right, but yeah, that's a whole other issue another day though. But in general, like Mario Wonder, for example, is running on something that is comparable to the power of like an Xbox 360 and maybe like a Xbox One you found in a dumpster.
damn.
It's the Pop Tart of gaming. It's a Pop Tart, really.
Oh wow.
It's not a
I see.
powerful system.
Yeah, and I felt the same way. Like Nintendo doesn't need that. They
No,
don't need
they don't need
high
it.
quality PS5 ray tracing this and
No.
that because what they do is they make up with they make up for it in unique experiences,
Yeah,
unique
unique
games that are
experiences,
fun and good.
visuals. They don't aim for realness. So,
Right, exactly.
and but there is
So it makes
sometimes
sense.
like I wish I could play like the newest Call of Duty in handheld mode, chilling on the
Yeah.
couch.
Well, you
That'd
could
be
play Mortal Kombat 1 if you'd
you.
like.
Yeah,
From
you,
what I
yeah,
understand, it's a good
eh,
experience.
uh, yeah, yeah. It's definitely an experience. It might be. I heard it's like the experience of time, just
Yeah.
the experience of time. Um, but like I would
but
love
so
third party games to be more fun on there,
yeah,
and I just don't. I
sure.
like unless it's like a 2D like sprite based game or like something I know that works well. Like there's some developers that really get it. Like I still don't understand how they put Crash 4 on there. That's impressive to me. And
Yeah.
it's like not compromised very much, and like Doom Eternal, it works. I mean, it's not bad, it's
It
not
works.
great. It's not like the best way to play Doom in my opinion, but
Not quite
like,
Doom's target audience either, but yes.
but I mean, like, it's cool that it's an option, and I think I don't know, like, it's cool that Bethesda's found ways to put their games on there.
Starfield coming to Switch
Yep,
soon.
let's go.
Also, then, with that being said, I mean, the rumors being this being a two-screen Switch, let's say, that seems more appealing, to me than a more powerful, like extra, what's it called, Steam Deck 2 style
Yeah.
Switch, right? Because now you've got a second screen. exactly like they did with the DS, they brought in interesting experiences with two
Yeah,
screens. I can see them doing a lot with that with the Switch. But is that
right.
something that would be, as someone, who's a Nintendo enthusiast, is that something that would be up your alley more so?
I just like, here's the thing. Here's what's great about the DS era is that there was always like the Wii or the Wii U or like something, or even for a bit the Nintendo Switch. There's always the console games. If they went back just to like doing these gimmick based handheld thing, like the Switch, like the Wii U had a really heavy tie-in gimmick with the gamepad. The Wii
Hmm.
had a heavy tie-in gimmick with motion controls.
Gotta get those nunchucks out.
Like the
But that
DS,
took the world by storm.
right? Yeah, and until like the attachment rate of the Wii though, it was horrible. Like in the later life, like there wasn't like a lot of games sold really well from Nintendo, but like for a console that sold as much as it did, you'd expect the numbers to be a lot higher in game sales, and they weren't. Like people bought it, played Wii Sports, and maybe Mario Kart. that was
Sure.
legit, like a legit case of it, and still something really unheard of in general. Like that just has never happened again. The Switch
Yeah.
has an insane attachment rate.
So would you like a two screen Switch?
No, that's what I was
No.
getting at, is because I mean it feels like Nintendo is finally going back to the GameCube era where like not every game is being made to work with this gimmick they built on their console. Like a lot of DS and like 3DS is a great example. Like the 3D was the big gimmick alongside the dual screens, and a lot of games
Yeah.
do utilize dual screens. A lot of them just like, but the thing is, there's not even that many games in general that utilize both screens other than like navigating some menu on the bottom. And I'd be lying saying that is super convenient and it's great.
Like to have that map on the bottom.
Yeah, it's
I like
super
it.
great and stuff, and that is a good utilization of it. But like,
There's check out my inventory real fast.
there's
Whoa.
hardly any games that like you're like, oh, if this second screen wasn't here, I'd be dead. No, there's hardly anything that you made.
Nobody's missing the second screen.
Yeah,
Is what you're saying.
I don't think. At least I'm not. I mean, it's just like I feel like we're getting higher quality products again, and nothing. And like, there's no like, oh, if we don't like, we have to work. Like, there's nothing they need to work around other than the Switch as a Pop-Tart, and they seem to have figured that out. So.
So make it stronger, make it better, and bring out new experiences.
I think
a la Super Mario Wonder.
I think just
style.
having the power so load times are fast. Like Nintendo knows how to put a quality product on whatever this is. It's very, very clear, and yeah, I mean, I think going back to dual screens is gonna we're gonna see a lot of gimmicky stuff again, and interest that is gonna fall off.
Things. Can we get a new Nintendo? Nintendo Switch 2?
Nintendogs is referenced in the new WarioWare game.
Is it? Oh,
It
that
surprised
so that's
me.
a game that I would love to
Yeah,
play.
no, that game is great.
WarioWare.
That game is, dude, the new one is
Because I
fun.
remember the Wii WarioWare.
Dude, the new
and
one
we
is
had
like the
so
Wii.
much fun
Yes.
playing that game. I
Get
want
the
to play
new,
that.
get the new
Oh,
one.
it's on
Get the
my
new
list.
one.
That's
It's
I wanna
literally,
do
literally a
weird
sequel.
poses.
Yes.
I want to like pull nose hairs out of something.
Dude,
I want to do all that.
I was loving it. It's good.
Oh my god! But I heard
So
from what I understand, the WarioWare that came directly before that, or maybe it wasn't WarioWare, maybe it was something else, but it totally screwed up the formula. Did that happen? Was it WarioWare prior.
Well,
to this
the new one, the one before this, like people kind of didn't. It is a little weird. It's like a new direct I mean, Smooth Moves, which is the one on the Wii that had the motion controls. That's the Wii one. That one established like a motion based format, and then all the other ones before it are button based.
Huh.
But then the one before this new one, I think it's called Get It Together or something.
Yes.
It's very unique. I liked it. I've played, like, they're typically not long games because they bank on replay value, and I'm fine with that. The one before this, I played it all in like one sitting, and it's like a hybrid of like every character has their own little abilities to do, and you control them in the mini games. And it's okay. I think it's not the greatest. My favorite still is the last one on the 3DS, WarioWare Gold.
Oh.
That one is like the best. It's like an anthology pretty much of like all the games ever, aside from like Smooth Moves. There's probably a couple from Smooth Moves, but I played that one a ton.
The one gold. It's the gold standard.
It is the gold standard. It is the gold standard.
But this one's apparently really good. Now you have this one, I would imagine.
Yeah, the new one. Yep. I pretty much have done everything. It's good.
I'm probably gonna get that at some point.
It's good.
I'll play it on stream.
Oh, hell yeah!
That'll be so fun. Okay, I completely forgot about that. But I mean, this Nintendo Switch DS. I mean, I'm excited to see the next thing out of Nintendo. I feel like everybody is. I know the big bugaboo was it's underpowered, right?
Yeah.
That's the one takeaway. But frankly, you know, the products that they're putting out don't need the power. You know, we talked about that already. The Breath of the Wild, maybe. You know, there were some hiccups here and there. There was some itching.
All their games have been
drops,
playable.
But playable and great experiences.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention it, but Metroid Dread is still on my list also. I think about that game for years, basically.
Mine's still in the Best Buy bag.
Oh, okay, it's still out there. I was in Japan looking for it, thinking like maybe I could get a better deal on it. And I went into a video game store, and they had Switch games on this huge, like, you know, new Switch games on a huge, bookshelf almost. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll find Metroid Dread here. But of course, they were all in Japanese and all like on the spine. So I'm like, I don't even know what order these are in. So I pull like 100 games. I pull it out randomly, getting a strange like, I don't know, Dragon Quest game that I never heard of before. Dragon Quest 56. You know, like, what the hell is this? Like, and there's no order to it. So like, oh, okay. And they were cheaper, obviously, because the exchange rate is a little bit better. So I was thinking about picking it up, and then I couldn't find it. I just couldn't find it. So that's been on my mind for years now. Because I love Metroids. I love Metroidvanias. Like, I'm sure I'm not the first person ever to have said that, but
wait, that might be the first person to ever have said they love Metroidvanias.
That's it. You heard it here first, folks. The first person to ever say Metroidvanias. I'm coining it.
Awesome.
But yeah, so that's I think, like, you know, the Switch has so many good things going for it. As long as they just continue with the unique experiences and development of the games.
Yeah.
And I mean, Mario Wonder just came out. It is fantastic, and we were just talk about it earlier. And it's not because it's graphically the best.
I mean, for the Mario series, it's definitely up there. So
I mean,
I love that art
pretty,
direction.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
Oh yes, but not like, we're not talking about ultra realistic Mario. This is in Bob Hoskins here, and what's his name, John Leguizamo running around, which is one of the. I know we're going to talk a little bit about questions here, and I have something for you, actually, that I've been thinking about. And Ty, I know for my friend group and the people that I know, you know the most about Nintendo that I know at all. You are like the number one be all end all Nintendo person, and I got to ask you this: is it canon that Mario's last name is Mario?
Dude,
Mario? Is that canon? I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure they said it's not, but to me it is too. To me it is too.
It is.
Yeah,
okay, good. So that it's that.
I mean, like,
it's done.
Come on, you can't, like, look. You know what? They get to suffer one consequence of making that movie.
Oh, the dinosaur is not good enough? Everybody getting on the floor and doing the dinosaur?
The one consequence they get to, like, they can hide that movie and everything they want to do, but we will not forget Mario, Luigi, Mario.
Okay, Mario, and Luigi Mario. See, I always switch between Mario and Mario. To me, it's Mario also, but that's another story. That's a Northeast thing. But it's always been Mario, and I just didn't know if that was ever canon. I don't know if
No,
they accepted it, but
I
I
don't
guess they
think I
scrapped it.
don't think they ever accepted it, but they never have
Oh.
given him another one. So you know what? We're keeping it.
They in the newest
Yeah,
Mario movie, they didn't talk about
they
his
didn't.
last name. I mean, his
I
mom was in it, right? But they were
yeah.
like, "Oh, Mama Mario," right?
Yeah, no, they're like just hey mom, no, they're like that, but
They didn't even give her a name. That's messed up.
I don't know, I don't. Yeah,
That's
I
fucked
think
up.
yeah, they don't give
That's
us
it.
the last name.
Okay, well, they
I
gotta save something for the sequel, right?
I could be mistaken, but now that we're talking about this, there's like some art and stuff for like when they worked on that.
Oh
Like
god, it's
they're
not
given
like
they're no
not
nothing
fan
nothing
art. We're not
nothing
getting
no
Mrs. Mario.
no
Well,
no
it has a special call from a plumber. We're
nope
not talking that.
nope not like
Good
that.
lord.
Um,
There's some art floating around. Careful. Don't turn safe search on.
yeah. No, but like there's some like art like when they were working on the movie, like Nintendo like they basically were given like access to like a Nintendo vault of stuff.
Oh.
And I swear it might be they actually like had last names or something. I can't remember.
But they couldn't leak it.
There was something like kind of a big deal that they weren't allowed to show, and I can't remember it. And I'm sure like the story, like it never really blew up, so like I'm sure it'd be hard to find what it was.
Oh no, they had to do a special magic whistle
Yeah.
to get them into the vault to a
Yeah.
certain stage.
They
Oh,
were
man.
honestly, knowing Nintendo, they probably were like blindfolded on how to get in there. Dude, I don't think it's out of the question that they were like basically kidnapped.
Oh my god. That's interesting. Well, like I said, they got to save content for Super Mario
Yeah.
Brothers
And
2.
And I think, while we're talking about the Mario movie, let's talk about that Zelda movie. Let's talk about that Zelda movie real quick.
Good segue into
Yeah.
this other headline.
I'm excited. That's all I gotta really say about
Zelda.
it.
Excitement is high. So
Yeah.
the headline is
Live
Nintendo
action.
has announced that they are making. Are they making it themselves?
So
or
it's
are they producing it?
50%. Yeah, so it's basically a 50-50 all the way split between like in terms of finances and producing it with Sony, which is insane to think about.
Sony Pictures.
Sony Pictures.
Uh-huh.
It's just weird to me. Like, I mean, those two companies. No, you don't really associate them with getting along, in my opinion. No, I mean that's
what I understand.
Really, what started PlayStation was Nintendo.
The big spin-off. I thought it was VCRs, but yeah. The Betamax is what did it. But so yeah, you're burying the lead. It's a Legend of Zelda live-action movie.
Yep.
It's happening. They're making it.
Yep. And
Nintendo, Sony Pictures,
and
together at last.
I think after seeing the Mario movie, I'm not worried. I mean, Nintendo keeps a close eye on these projects, it seems, and I don't feel any need to worry about it. The Mario movie was
fantastic
for anyone. If you love the games and know about them, it's like a little bit of like a dream come true. Like see like all this stuff referenced, and yeah, it's a kids movie,
nostalgia kick,
but
Easter eggs, the perfect movie, the perfect Mario movie. That movie is definitely on my list of best movies that I've seen this year. And I watched it on a plane. I can say that, and I fell asleep in parts of it, so I got to rewatch it. But in the little parts that I did see, I was just delighted.
Yeah,
they did a fantastic job.
It's super charming.
Charming, yeah. Everything seems to be with Mario is charming. It's got charm out the wazoo again. They had so much in their wazoo that it came out in games and movies. No, that movie was great. They hit a home run. I love the idea of a Zelda movie. I'm on there. And in fact, as a person who loves video games, I say anything that is going to bring video games more into the zeitgeist of everyday lives, right, is better. If having a Zelda movie out there gets one person who's not familiar with video games to say, hey, what is this about? Oh, Zelda? Yeah, I think I heard about that before. Let me buy a Nintendo and play it, right? I'm 100% on board with that.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit tentative on the fact that it's live action.
Yeah.
I think that's dicey. It's tricky to make a really good live action movie.
But I think sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
I was just gonna say, I mean, it's not like it's like a medieval type of setting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's been enough experience all around in this whole type of field, like, of doing these type of movies and stuff where, you know, it's not some like super big space sci-fi adventure where like this, like, no one's ever thought of these ideas either. There's stuff to work off here. There's history behind all of this, and I think it'll make it easier to do live action. But I do agree, the thought of live action is a scary topic. There is not really the closest thing in my book of a good live action video game movie is the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which like kind of like gets an easy slide in my opinion, because like the first game in the series and most of the games after are like fucking 12 JPEGs on screen.
Yeah,
and
but
then
that
like
was
10
like
GIFs.
But like all the main characters in it were like CGI creatures, right? They didn't use like
no, those are no, they made them real.
Oh wow! See, I did not see that.
Yeah, I recommend it.
I heard it was a success as far as the box office, but maybe limited as far as if it was actually a good movie or not.
I honestly think it's one of the best video game movies, like in terms of, I don't know, the Mario movie is really good for its own reason. The Five Nights at Freddy's movie is also good for its own reason, and they're like two separate reasons. Like, Mario movie is made with fans in mind, but it reflects on its history, while the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is really good because it kind of ditches like people that haven't really played any of the games or anything. And it's like, it's for the fans. It's only for the fans. But, I mean, I think people that... My parents watched it while I went and saw it in the theater. And, which really surprised me. And they liked it. So, I mean, I think anyone can enjoy it. If you're just in for a little spooky time, it's a good movie for it.
A little too spooky for me. You know I'm a big baby. I don't watch anything spooky. I don't play anything spooky. Nothing for me.
Really? I didn't know that.
No, I can't do it. I'm a big baby when it comes to scary movies, scary TV shows.
That.
But like, okay, so Five Nights at Freddy's success. What concerns me about Zelda is the source material, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Zelda in itself is Nintendo's way of telling a mature story, right?
Yeah.
And when you're shooting a live action movie, you know, if you want to tell a mature story, you know, you got to break a few eggs. Is Nintendo ready to, I don't know, show blood in a Zelda movie? And if not, does that take away from the seriousness of the movie? You know, you've got Link slicing a hobgoblin or whatever you call it, the Mabo goblins, whatever the name is. Yeah. Is blood coming out of there? You know I mean, like that happen?
I'm sure it'll probably be blue.
Or is it running into, like, you know, the problem that the Monster Hunter movie had, where it was like too goofy?
It's gonna not, dude. The Monster Hunter movie wasn't even goofy, silly, or babyish. It just didn't even make sense.
It just had no sense in it.
That was the biggest waste of my time.
You know, does it take the source material and make it like? And bring it down a couple of notches, even though they're trying to tell a mature story, but it's not coming across in a live action format. That's what concerns me.
I think to ease... So Zelda has a big history. Huge.
Sure.
Yeah, and
there's been novels written about it. There's books on books.
And I
think... Crazy storyline, for what I think, timeline.
I think that... I think... similar, you know, Sony handles the Spider-Man movies, and Spider-Man has an insane history, and some of the best Spider-Man movies, in my opinion, combine a bunch of his history. And the person that is like co-producing and maybe directing. I can't quite remember. He works on a ton of the Spider-Man movies now. He also worked on stuff like Morbius and
You mean the producer
Avi,
Arad or whatever his name is. Yes. Interesting, but he's a producer, so
well,
he could have a lot of input, but I think mostly it would be you'd feel more satisfied if you had a good the right person directing it and the right people starring in it. Do we know anything on that front?
No. Oh, they haven't even. They probably have written one word on the paper.
Yeah,
legally they couldn't write.
I feel like those are the big three.
Right? Like
Director,
depending on how
and writer.
Depending on how long ago this has actually been like being worked on, they only announced it like I think right as like the actors strike ended.
Oh.
So like legally they couldn't even been writing this movie like 2 weeks ago. Like I think the writer's strike ended like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's probably barely worked on. I'm sure it'll come out in like 3 or 4 years.
We've got years of speculation.
I at least I think. I mean, unless they have a whole script ready, I have no clue. They didn't really say any info on any of that stuff. But
yeah. But when I think of successful live action video game movies, at least in recent memory, I'm thinking something like Sonic, right?
Sonic's pretty good.
Was a commercial success,
yeah.
At least. But the titular character in itself is CGI, right? He comes, he's running fast. It's kind of like goofy. Even you could even say Dr. Robotnik in himself is almost like a larger than life cartoon.
Yeah.
And then also Pokemon, right? Detective Pikachu.
Oh, yeah, Detective Pikachu was pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good from what I understand. It was very well received. But again, the titular character, and this is a CGI. Not telling a serious story, CGI character. Yeah. I'm concerned with, especially with how rabid how invested people are. Like you said, huge history for Zelda. Zelda's been around for 30 plus years at this point. How rabid the fan base is. If it comes out that somebody's not the right way that everybody pictured Link, or like, oh, that's not what I wanted, or they're doing the Twilight Princess story instead of the Majora's Mask story. Does that cause a problem with how people receive it? And then also it's live action and it's maybe a little bit kid-like. I don't know. There's a lot of pitfalls. There's just a lot of pitfalls.
I think it'll be PG-13.
PG-13,
which I think is more than fine. It doesn't need an R.
I'm waiting for the R. I want a little bit of R in there.
You ain't getting.
Can we throw out NC-17 for The Legend of Zelda? Finally.
How about just unrated? Unrated.
And released on YouTube would be excellent. No, I think there's just pitfalls. There's like a lot of pitfalls that go into a serious live action movie. Now, I hope it's not.
I think
Nintendo, resting on their laurels here, thinking, "Oh wow, we had this huge hit with Mario. There's no way we could strike out."
No, I think it's quite the opposite. After the live action Mario movie.
Oh.
Nintendo, dude, think about it. Like, I think that movie was.
Them from making movies
exactly. Like people tried, they just couldn't get rights to it. I mean, it was ridiculous. Like, it talked about like, there's probably some old people saying for whatever. There's some old people analogy right there, but think of that they stuck their head in the fence, got bit once, and never went back.
It's true.
I don't know. But seriously though, they struck out one time, and they're like, well, that's it. No more movies ever again. We're done. Bye. Like, it's just crazy to me. How long?
Is it also now? Because now they're coming up with more remakes of old games.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Is that also part of it as well? Are they starting to realize the power of their history?
Maybe. It only took them.
When I say power, I mean money-making potential.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good argument. Like, that I think like in more recent years they have finally understood that there is insane money-making opportunities off of their own platforms. That they were too scared to kind of venture into like 5 years ago.
Oh yeah, and they're coming back with things like Super Mario RPG, which
Hmm.
everyone's very
I mean,
excited
think
for.
about it. The Mario movie, following the Mario movie, all like pretty much all the biggest first party games on Nintendo Switch are Mario games. Like they got Mario RPG, the
Hmm.
Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake, which
Oh
is one of the
yes,
most requested Mario games like just
great game.
ever.
Loved that game when it came out.
Um, the
Wait, is that wait? Actually, before you switch off of that, Thousand Year Door, was that the first one or the second one?
second.
Oh, I like the first one better, but go on.
What do you mean? Wait? Oh, like the 64 one?
Yeah, the one for 64, and then the sequel was Thousand Year Door, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked the first one, if I remember correctly. But this was what? How many years ago at this point?
300.
20.
Huh.
But yeah, go on. Thousand Year Door, awesome.
Yeah, Paper Mario or Paper Mario RPG. Like, there's a Princess Peach game, a Luigi's Mansion 2 remake.
Yes.
There's another like the Mario Kart DLC. I mean,
They did that.
they're capitalizing on it. So honestly, whenever the Zelda movie comes out, prepare for like 12 Zelda games.
Damn. Well, I think everybody wants more Zelda, like after
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I think I saw an article maybe the other day that the indication is they're going to stick with that open world formula for the Zeldas,
I
which
thought
I love.
I thought the indication. I took it more as
Oh, in a different way.
yeah. That's another thing about Nintendo articles is like it kind of leaves the door open for interpretation. Maybe it's because they don't really want to say what's next, or maybe they legally can't. I don't know. But yeah, it was like, you know, they're like we're kind of, it sounded like I need to finish Tears of the Kingdom just to clarify.
What? He had.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just put you up as the premier
I
Nintendo man, and you didn't even beat Tears of the Kingdom.
I want to. It's just, man, dude, time.
There's just no time. That's a juicy game. That's a chunky game.
I guarantee one day I will just sit down and play through the whole thing in one sitting. That's probably what will happen. That's exactly what happened with Breath of the Wild, and I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Now,
You get sucked in.
but the interpretation I took was that, you know, it's like they're always aiming for new things, but like that this is like the third way of experiencing Zelda games. You know, you got like the semi-open world of like Ocarina of Time type of thing,
Yeah.
where it's like not open, but it's not super linear either. But then you got like the 2D, like all Zelda games have like before this have been like this kind of open world, but kind of not. Even like the top-down 2D one, like I mean, really, the first Zelda
Well, the
game on
first
NES is like
exactly. You
pretty
can
much as
choose
close
your
as
own
open
dungeon.
world. Yeah, I mean, pretty much open world as it got way back then.
It had to be, and if you didn't burn the right bush, then you just were screwed. That's it. You just had to know.
But yeah, like, so those are like the classic like 2D adventure type of gameplay, or like the 3D, you know. And now this is like a new one, this open world, do what you want, and it's a new way to play, and I think that's what they were saying. I don't, like, some people online had this knee-jerk reaction of like, oh, this is it, no more old Zelda game, like,
They're never gonna make the old one again.
Yep, never again. They'll never try anything new ever again, because that's exactly what Nintendo does, never tries anything.
Well, let me throw it out there again, since I offered up the suggestion to Microsoft. Now let me throw it out there to Nintendo. If you guys are watching, Legend of Zelda VR.
That would be crazy.
You get to be Link.
That would be
crazy.
crazy.
No need to cast Link in the movie. It's you,
It's
the
you.
player. Go back to the original way that Link was. Link to the player. Boom,
That would
tied in. I don't remember if that's true or just an old wives' tale. But boom, VR Legend of Zelda, and in order to do a movie, you gotta go hiya something.
Bro,
something
it sounds like you just want Skyrim with the Kinect.
Yes, maybe that's it. It's Skyrim, but Zelda. But no, but bring up a really good point. Your interpretation on that is they're gonna do, they're doing this because it's unique and it's new and it's right for the time. But
Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda has always done unique and interesting things.
Oh, yeah.
Who says that this is the next genre or the next iteration of Zelda we might not even know what it is right now. We don't even know what it
Yeah.
looks like. We didn't understand what Breath of the Wild was until it came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, the next Zelda game very well could be something totally different. Like, I wouldn't put it past them. This is very possible that
I mean,
it's
this is Nintendo
nothing.
we're talking about. We
they
just said they were part of it. They are innovation.
they are a wild card when it comes to what is next.
Yes. So I
Good
think
or
we're
bad.
both in, I mean, we're pretty much both in agreement here. We're excited for the Zelda movie.
Yes.
I'm excited for the Zelda movie. I'm just, tentative on the format and who the leads are gonna be, right? Okay, so here's a question. Let me pose this just because a fun thought experiment, right?
Chris Pratt, Zelda,
There it is.
Link,
That's
and
it. I didn't even have to
Ganondorf.
go out there. That's it. The Hyrule Castle, here we come. I could see it.
I could not. Oh god.
No, not Chris Pratt. But seriously, in all seriousness, so leading actors now that you'd want to see as a Link, who could it be? Who could fill that role? I mean, I jokingly said Timothée Chalamet. He's in everything now, but he's like that body type. He's that, like, boyish good looks. Could be Link right there.
Do you want my honest thoughts of who I think?
Yes, of course.
I want it to
Only
be like a
honesty
nobody.
Somebody who has not
Just
come yet, but
like
is
maybe
out.
they like maybe you like, oh, I seen them in that one Netflix show that got canceled.
I see what you're saying.
Like that's part of what made the MCU so great. Like the Marvel movies is that they're like
Robert Downey Jr. never was in anything before.
Yeah, well, if you
Iron
ask
Man.
yeah, nothing. But in all seriousness though, like that is like what helped it a lot, keep it like real in that world, is that you couldn't associate most of these people with something else, and I think that'll help the Zelda movie a ton if it could do that.
Definitely, I think you're right on that. I'm not sure if I draw the same from the Marvel movies.
What do you
mean?
mean?
They always had big stars in all of their
Like
all of the heroes.
Thor? What about Thor?
Yeah, Thor. What's his name?
Chris Hemsworth?
What was it? Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe not Thor.
And I mean, and Chris Evans was in he was in Scott Pilgrim as one of the evil X's. And when I say like nobody's,
he was in Fantastic Four. He was in Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah, but those aren't.
Career going
well,
on.
yeah, it's not that I'm saying that they don't need to have a career, but it's not like.
Well, these aren't no-name Netflix people. They're in movies. Those are movie stars.
Yeah, but I mean, like, nobody.
All the Spider-Men were all big stars before they started as Spider-Man.
Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, Andrew Garfield, Social Network. He was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, but that's not
He was
like.
huge.
Okay, but if you put.
Actually, all the Spider-Men were, well, many of them, right?
Tom Holland.
Maguire was nominated. Tom Holland. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Tom Holland wasn't.
But they're in all these people were in barely any projects. Yes, Andrew Garfield was in The Social Network, and he plays that movie's great.
Great movie.
It ages like fine wine every single day. And
Winklevoss twins were played by one person. Just so we throw that. I think that came up as a question. It's one person.
It's not that I'm not trying to say like literally in the sense of these people had no career, but I mean like no one watched Captain America. Okay, majority of people, there's probably one person who's like, I just couldn't take Captain America seriously because I envisioned Scott Pilgrim in my head this whole time. Here's my, like, if you put someone like, I don't know, like, if you put like Jonah Hill in one of the MCU movies, you're not gonna be able to take it seriously because you're just gonna be taking all these other things he's done. Like, that's just to me.
Yeah.
And that's
thinking, that's the super bad guy.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem with the with Mario, like Chris Pratt as Mario, in my opinion. Like everyone's like making jokes about it and stuff.
What's his name? Chris Pratt from the So and So.
Yeah, and
I think the joke is, I mean, he's just been in everything. And now he's also playing Mario, right?
Right.
He was the Jurassic World, the Jurassic, this. and then Marvel and Parks and Rec. He's just been in everything, like in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And now he's also Mario.
Yeah, and Garfield. He's gonna be Garfield.
He's gonna be Garfield. What happened to Bill Murray? He's done.
He's been done for a long time.
But back to the original question then. So for you, it is somebody who's not somebody who's out there. They're not quite famous yet.
The less famous, the better.
No
typecast. That's exactly
That makes sense. It's probably some English kid who was in a show on Hulu that nobody has really watched, but was probably critically acclaimed, but nobody watched it, and he doesn't really have a big footprint yet.
Yeah, that's what I would like.
Now, so now to be fun, for fun, if it is somebody who's famous, who is it? Who's the big famous actor that you want in there? And this is Nintendo we're talking about, so maybe they want to throw the money around at somebody who has a footprint. This is their big franchise. Maybe they want a Ezra Miller.
No.
He's got no character flaws. He's perfect.
No
flaws. Not him.
I don't. Do you have any ideas? I guess
obviously the obvious answer for me is Timothée Chalamet. He's got his boyish good looks.
That's not a bad answer.
He's a little bit skinny, but that's kind of Link.
Yeah,
Link's
not jacked. He has muscle. He's typically toned or something.
Like Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's hard. I'll have to think about this some more. He's kind of like that.
That's part of the thing too. There's just not a bunch of big stars that I can see as Link in the first place. Mm-hmm. There's not a ton of people who are maybe in their 20ish, early 20s. I assume they're not it's possible they have actors play a young Link as well, but I think it'll take place the Twilight Princess era of
Ford is Link.
Okay, dude, now we're talking. Honestly though, if they made a Zelda movie, how old is Star Wars? 50 years old now? 40 years old? I think it's 40 years old. Well, either way, I could definitely, if they made it that long ago, I could have seen Mark Hamill play Link.
Like a young Mark Hamill. Young Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, yeah. I think he had the blonde hair.
No need to dye that hair.
Nope.
Perfect.
Nope.
Put a little just Link hat on him.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess these are questions that are going to come down the pike, right? I'm almost afraid to ask about the Zelda, but I feel like Zelda there's a lot more options open.
Yeah, like Danny DeVito.
For Zelda. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Twins. I think they'll just do
it.
Danny DeVito will play one of the Goron characters. What are those things called? It's exciting.
It's exciting.
For sure. And it's nice that these thought experiments are going to come up all the time. We're going to be talking about it. And I really hope that there's rumors and speculation.
Dude, I can't wait for set leaks. People walking by the set. Oh man.
Or writer.
Their LinkedIn profiles start popping up. The real question I think everybody's got to be wondering is, what will they do with the Great Fairy in the movie?
I'm confused at that.
The Great Fairy?
The one that comes out of that flower?
Yeah, and it looks it's a little interesting for a Nintendo game.
You get Melissa McCarthy, and she's in it. Boom, done. That casting is set. We're finished. It's perfect.
I thought Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito comes in. There you go. He's a hot potato right now.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito. Get him in there.
Get him in there.
It's interesting. I just want to put one thing else out there. And my original thinking, being that I don't think that live action, it's going to be dicey. Live action's going to be tough. A lot of pitfalls for that kind of style. What about an anime or an animated feature or something a la Disney, but a little bit more adult for a Link show or a Link movie? Or, let's let's throw it out there. What about a Link show? What about a mini-series, a 10-episode Netflix anime?
There was supposed to be one, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was supposed to be that, and I know for sure there was supposed to be a Star Fox show.
Oh, that actually might lend itself even better.
Well, and then like word got out. This is what I mean by Nintendo has a tight grip on these type of things. So, like, word got out of it earlier than Nintendo wanted it to, and they scrapped it.
Oh.
They scrapped it. Nintendo did. It was gonna be like a Netflix show. Can't remember who was making it, but like it was gonna be awesome. It was like
That I could see.
I can't remember too many of the details, but yeah. And then there's also these rumors of like a Zelda show a while back, and you know, if it's anything like the Star Fox thing, I can guess what happened.
Facts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the only reason I say that is these Netflix miniseries, especially in the anime realm or animated realm,
they're crazy.
Killing it. They're killing it, right?
Yeah.
Gangbusters. And they're doing a lot of video game crossovers.
Yeah, I'm excited for Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry is coming down the pike. I know there's an Onimusha one out right now that I haven't had the time to watch, but I want to see it. They did the Cyberpunk one, which was excellent. And I don't really care for anime that much, but I feel like anime has a way of being able to tell an adult story.
Yeah.
And also kind of tone down the imagery, right? They
could
do that.
I mean, Arcane is a good example.
I didn't watch it, but I hear great things.
You gotta watch Arcane. You don't even have to know anything about League of Legends to love it.
I don't have to know if I'm a jungler or a
top
laner.
Yeah, you don't gotta know that.
Oh damn, good.
Yeah.
I don't.
But in all seriousness though about that stuff, it's Arcane is like really dark. Like there's a huge it's not even an undertone. It's like a big focus is about like this drug and everything, and it's sad. It's depressing. It's a great show. But yeah, I kind of get what you mean that it's like. I think animation allows, honestly, for even a darker story though, because it's not subject to real life.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know. I guess I think when I'm talking animation and Nintendo shows that really deserve it, I think Zelda can do very fine in live action for what I was saying earlier, because knights and medieval time stuff and these like mythological worlds, super commonly done thing over many years of media, where I think that they can figure something out. But like something like Star Fox, you know, like space, and when we get into sci-fi is just such a bigger hit or miss. It's either over ambitious and stuff, and that's why I think a show would help it. You know, and maybe a little ironic because this is about knights and stuff, but I think Fire Emblem would truly be a great show to have an anime for.
Well, I mean, Fire Emblem in itself is already almost an anime.
Yeah. But the drama is there for one, and I think that would help it a lot.
The romance is out there. That's actually what has turned me off from Fire Emblem. But yes, I see what you're saying.
You'd like the new one, I think. Then that's a less bigger focus.
Does it have like, oh, I gotta go spend X amount of time with so and so to do this? Is it Persona meets Fire Emblem? Because I don't want to play that.
It's a lot less of that stuff, but I enjoy getting to know the characters and stuff though. So
yeah, I mean, I get it. Give them some backstory, but I don't want to see who's so good at debate club or whatever they're doing on the side. I don't care about that shit. I just want to get to the grids and the moving.
You can skip over a lot of that though.
Yeah, maybe I would like to do that. Fire Emblem has always been a series that I have wanted to get into.
Well, here's this. Like I will say the social aspect in Three Houses, I never finished it because of that, because it just kind of went.
A Hufflepuff or whatever house you were. You don't know what house?
I picked the house. I can't remember which one I did, but I definitely did pick one. I want to finish it one day. It's a long game, but I digress on that. The social aspect just got out of control there, I feel, but now it's a lot of them are more so like there's just small, quick conversations between the characters. You get a little bit of lore,
Nice.
boost up their rating. I think you'd like it if you give it a bit of a shot. And at the end of the day, you can skip over it too if you want to just do tactics. And
I mean, I love a tactics game.
Yeah.
That's why I would be so in there. Like,
Yeah.
if not for that other stuff, I would be all over Fire Emblem.
So.
But that's something that's on my radar for sure. Especially if I can skip over that. But so before we, dust off this Zelda topic, though.
Okay.
Last thing, what are we gonna do when Zelda? Look, listen to me. Video games. I never played them before. What are we gonna do when Link actually speaks, says something?
That is a good point, and I think that I'd say that is another good reason why someone with a less big name should do the role.
Mm-hmm.
It'll help.
It goes down.
It's
Blame it all on this guy. He doesn't have a career. Fire him.
Not exactly where I was gonna go, and when I say not exactly, not at all, but dude, there is definitely someone probably out there in an office at Sony or Nintendo that's pitching that idea right now. Like, guys, it's gotta be a nobody, because if this is bad, at least
we gotta blame it on him.
At least we got a person to blame. But no, I do think it'd help, like with the Chris Pratt as Mario. He was saying that, oh, my Mario I don't think he was bad, but it's like he was saying like he had a Mario voice. Okay, buddy, it's like
a bad Brooklyn accent.
Yeah,
and then that's it. It's Chris Pratt with a Brooklyn accent.
It's Chris Pratt.
It's
Chris Pratt if he was casted on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Exactly. Which is basically what it. I think that was fine.
I think it was fine. It's just like he was hyping up his voice like it was just godsend. It's like, bro, you didn't even do anything.
So that's gonna be one of the.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy
when he says his first words.
To be fair, with Miyamoto being a producer on it, Mario talks. Link doesn't really.
He says stuff like, "Oh no,"
like that. But also, it's very possible he doesn't talk. And
good mute.
It's possible.
It's impossible. No, it's not. Do a live action movie where the main character does not speak. What is this? Some kind of French film? It can't be done.
Dude, Mario and Zelda are Miyamoto's children, and the fucked up thing is he has children. And I think he likes Mario and Zelda more.
I should not know that.
But seriously, he loves these things. He is a producer on these movies, and I think Mario in the Mario movie was very much like Mario. Out of everything in that movie, that is like Mario. That is exactly like he was in the shows and the games and everything like that before that. And I think that I'm not saying it's likely. Let me be more clear on that. I'm just saying I see it as a possibility.
There's a non-zero chance that it could happen.
Yeah. I think it's more likely he talks.
I cannot see that ever happen. You can't cast a guy as a main character in a live-action movie and not have him speak. They even made Pikachu speak, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but
he's got a voice.
He did that in the game that movie's based on, though.
Oh, there's a game based on that?
Yeah, that whole movie's based on a game. The game is not that great.
Ryan Reynolds, by the way, great job.
Oh, yeah.
I never saw the movie, but it sounded every
dude, you should watch it.
I was like, I actually wanted to watch it.
It's kind of cool.
On my list to watch. It looks so fun.
It's fun.
Like a fun movie.
But that's the thing, that both producers on this work with things that have a good amount of source material. And in a decent amount of the projects, the one that, the projects I know Avi Arad, is his name Avi Arad?
Yeah, I think so.
Has been involved with, more heavily, the most recent Spider-Verse film, the main
Great
villain,
movies.
the main villain, have you seen it?
I did, yes.
Spot.
Yes. Okay. Again,
That-
I watched it on a plane.
that
I
is
was, like, in and out.
the Spot like barely talked about villain, and it was his idea to have him be the villain, and
Whoa.
incredible villain in that movie.
Huh.
And I mean, I don't know, I like, that's why I'm just saying it's not out of the realm of possibility.
That he doesn't speak.
Right. I don't. Would I say it's more likely? No, not at all. I do think it's more likely you would talk. I just, like, I would put like 50 on the talking, and then I put like 20 on not talking. Like, I have a little bit of confidence, maybe make some of the money back,
And another 30 on something
the
else.
movie gets canned and never happens.
Gets canceled before it goes. Higher chance of that than Link not
Basically,
speaking.
I break even no matter what.
It's a win-win situation.
Yes.
No, I think for audiences out there, if I'm going to be Siskel and Ebert,
Yeah.
for audience out there, it's a win-win right now
Yeah.
for everybody. Very exciting. It's out there. The news is out there. It hit.
Yeah.
I think we could, put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Until the next wave of news comes out here.
Yeah.
For
So
that, which I'm sure is going to come soon.
2020. Dude, I don't think it's soon. Dude, they ain't talking about that
There's gonna
movie.
be next leak. Next
Yeah.
leak is director, and
They cancel it because it got
writer.
leaked.
Canceled. Oh, and we're not doing. We never
Yeah.
were doing that.
And ever. Well, we were talking about things with anime adaptations. Have you heard of Mega Man Battle Network?
Oh, I
Yeah.
have heard of this, actually.
And I think, wow, what a super smooth segue that is to talk about something we'll talk more about next time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, next week.
Yeah,
right?
next week.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
Well,
we're definitely gonna be aiming to do this weekly for sure.
yeah, awesome.
But yeah, so feel free to chime in and all about this. But essentially, we want to do like a little book club, game club type thing. And the first game is like a battle network.
A Mega Man Battle Network, very exciting.
Yeah, and I have not gotten a chance to really do much about it, but you've put in like what you said, like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours.
No, I think it's probably
12,
like probably closer to
100?
5 hours, maybe. Well, if
300
you add
hours?
all the hours that I played when it originally came out, it could be 1,000 hours. No, I played a little bit of it, and I love this idea that you came up with, Ty, to bring this part of the group, which is every week we're going to play a little bit of a game, and one that we choose beforehand. And I would say play a nice chunk of it. I'm putting my mark in to say 10 hours of the game, just so that we can talk about it intelligently, about our experience with it.
Yeah.
And the point of that is also, if you're out there and you want to join us, the game, we're going to announce the game, and you can come and play it with us and bring back your opinion as well.
Oh yeah.
Right? Give us comments, give us notes. This week it's going to be Mega Man Battle Network.
Yep.
And then next week we'll announce the next game that we're going to play together as well. And I think this brings like a great little like segment and conversation piece for us, because it's going to be something we're both playing. I mean, we just talked about all these games that we're playing. You're playing Call of Duty, I'm playing Apex, but we're not really. I mean, not too many of the games are crossover, right? This is going to be a good crossover for us.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I started playing it already, so I kind of like sunk my teeth into it. And let me tell you, I have to say, and it's a little bit of a problem, and I got to talk to my wife about it also, but I'm addicted to jacking.
Oh god. I was like, oh god, as soon as you said
a problem.
it's almost a problem. Maybe
I'm
I should.
addicted to jacking in. I'm jacking in all the time.
How long have you been waiting to say that? Like, honestly,
well,
like,
it's tough because I've been playing Cyberpunk and I've been jacking in all the time in Cyberpunk, so it's tough. I'm jacking all the time.
Dude,
it's crazy.
You're jacking in one game, jacking in another.
I can't help it. I can't. It's almost. It's not good. It's not good for my health.
Not good, dude. Yeah.
But that's a little preview. If you're interested in Battle Network, there's a lot of jacking.
There's a lot of jacking in. Tons of jacking.
Join us for next week when we have a conversation about it. Also, please,
feel free to
play
it, or if you already play it, play it again. You can never jack in too much.
That's true, and scientists some say that's good for your health.
Yeah.
So so play along with us. And I thought it was a good game to pick first up because when we actually were talking about it, it had just come out. And it kind of ties into exactly what we're talking about here. How Nintendo Switch games or Nintendo in general is going back to their backlog of games and remastering, remaking them, bringing back games that people know and love. And I think that's one of this collection. So it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely looking forward to experiences. And honestly, like, I mean, it's very possible, we talk about it that week, and then if we pick another thing, would you be against even just finishing the game, like doing it 2 weeks in a row?
Oh, we could talk about. I think different games lend itself for different lengths, right? This one's a little bit shorter, so maybe that would be good.
Yeah,
I don't want to play all the Mega Man.
No,
games.
not
five of them?
There's like 5 or 6. Yeah, I would definitely. I would need to space them out. I just meant like, we could
we'll
see who knows. Next week is like next week away, so
exactly. And there are big games on the horizon.
Yes.
But let's talk about it. Let's try to sink in 10 hours into it, which I think that we're going to. And share our experience because it's a great game. It is a great game on its face. So definitely gonna be a lot of fun.
So you want to talk about questions?
Yeah, I like this idea also. Let's talk questions.
All right. Do you want to? You were talking earlier. I thought you had a.
Oh yeah. I thought. Well, so I've been thinking about this quite a bit. So also one of the things that we want to do is sort of pose a question. I'm gonna pose a hypothetical question to Ty, and Ty, if you got something for me, feel free. But this little segment here, it's just kind of like a question that we've been thinking about, to get our opinion, get the conversation started on it. And actually, this kind of came out the other day, which I thought was interesting. I saw a tweet the other day that was from the Game Awards, right?
Okay. Oh god.
And they said, you probably have been thinking about this. So, so on Monday, they're announcing their 6th Game of the Year nomination.
It's Monday? I did not.
I think it's Monday.
Oh, shit.
Maybe is that tomorrow? Oh, it might be tomorrow. By the time you hear this, it might already have happened, I think. I don't know. Or maybe voting starts on Monday. Maybe that's what it is. But it's all voted on, right?
People vote on which games. They pick the games.
Yes. I think that's what it is. So maybe voting opens tomorrow, or it's already closed and it's going to be announced. But if there are 6 Game of the Year games, and people have said this is the best year for gaming ever, I've been seeing thought pieces all over the internet on it. What are the 6 Game of the Year games?
All 6 of them?
Yeah, what are they? Let's hear it.
All right. So,
because I think I have an idea.
Okay.
Let's break it down.
Yeah, I'm very interested. Honestly, any of my questions were probably going to revolve something around Game of the Year. So this is perfect.
Perfect time.
Okay, here is my Game of the Year's Overwatch 2, obviously.
Of course, the very famous after BlizzCon.
In all seriousness, though.
Wait, just to clarify, Overwatch 2 came out this year?
I can't even remember.
Was it this year?
Was it this year? Last? It feels like I might have been last.
Was it like the beginning of this year? I can't even remember now.
It was eventually.
Oh my god! So maybe that's on there.
It might. But when real quick, when we were talking about the voting, so like they pick the games, people can vote on certain categories.
Okay, so that's it. They're gonna announce the 6.
Yes.
Well,
maybe.
Of course, there's too much money involved in Game Awards.
I don't really like. I enjoy watching the Game Awards as a fun thing. I do not take them seriously.
No, I don't think anybody does. But it's just basically
the wrong people.
Games, right?
The wrong people take it seriously.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but
well, the
6
internet
games.
has never been involved with ultra fans of video games before, so
yeah, true.
New territory.
Could you imagine talking about games on the internet? That doesn't even make any sense. Anyways, though, game of the Year. I think it's really fair to put, for starters, There's a lot to be fair. The Mario Wonder in my book,
Mm-hmm.
the insane dedication and work. I mean, 2D Mario games were in a rough spot before it, where like they weren't bad, but they didn't feel super innovative. And I think it's the case of a good amount of games where like, yeah, they're not bad, but nothing crazy. This game's crazy. And then six
Well,
of them, right?
I would agree with that for sure on
Six.
the list. That's one.
Okay. All right. I would say I don't think I would like vote it to be Game of the Year, but I do think it deserves the nomination of getting a lot right and should be rewarded for it. Of Street Fighter 6.
Wow. I thought you. So I that's definitely on my 6
Okay.
also.
All right. Awesome.
But I thought you were gonna say a different game. But yes, Street Fighter 6. Love it.
Yes. And then
I
yeah.
forgot to say that I am playing that also terribly. Go on.
Yeah, I didn't know you were playing that. Awesome. Okay.
It's hard.
And then I would say another. Oh man, there's. I'm not. I'm just saying this based on what I guess I've played a decent amount of this. I haven't finished it. I do think Tears of the Kingdom will get nominated, and I think it deserves the nomination. The whole crafting system is just mind blowing to me.
Mm-hmm. I'm just amazed how they could take Breath of the Wild and make it that much better.
Yeah,
new systems.
exactly.
And putting you in the driver's seat to feel like you're breaking the game, but that's actually how they intended you to.
Yeah.
Like, they want you to do it. The developers, again, a marvel in development. But yes, agreed. That's a strong 3. I'm surprised that you said Street Fighter, but that's a strong 3. I would have also said Street Fighter on there.
All right.
Because let me just throw out a little wrinkle there.
Yeah.
You would put Street Fighter and not Mortal Kombat 1 because you can't have.
Okay. No. Mortal Kombat 1 doesn't deserve a spot. I don't think it does.
Really?
I just think I don't know. I think Street Fighter offers more to the table. In terms of being like the better fighting game in general.
I would agree.
I just think it deserves some appraisal. Like Mortal Kombat's kind of been in the same spot the last like 4 games of like quality wise. Like it's not bad, but it's not really trying to do a whole lot. I think Street Fighter tried to do a whole lot. Is everything perfect in that game? No, but I just think it deserves to be recognized that like, hey, like you put in work, like there is work there, and like they listen to people's complaints about 5.
Big turnaround.
Yeah, big turnaround. So 3. We're at 3 still. I think
3. Yeah, 3 there.
And again, it's like I think. Obviously. I think that. Like, I'm hesitant on saying it, but I loved the experience. And it showed that they at least I liked it a lot. I'm gonna say Diablo 4 deserves a nomination.
4. I would have said the same thing.
Dude.
I mean, because to me, frankly, I think Diablo 4 is the most fun out of a game that I've played out of the new games this year. And
really?
I hate to say it, wasn't genre bending.
No.
It wasn't like hit the ground like wow, like it kind of did, and it was just one of those games that I enjoy playing by myself. I enjoyed playing that all of my friends were playing it. I love that formula of Diablo. I thought they put a great story together, even though people kind of were dissing the story.
I like the story. I thought it was fun.
I thought the story was fine. I love the CGI work, and I love the replayability. Where they lost me, and I think they lost a lot of people, is the lack of the seasonal stuff that didn't change anything. It was highly anticipated, didn't change anything.
Yeah,
that
is
disappointing. Was an issue. I think that's where they lost a lot of people. But that's the game that I put probably the most amount of time in and had the most fun with. So even though I know it's not at all going to win Game of the Year, I'm certain it'll be on that list.
Yeah, I think
that's a strong 4.
Man, dude, the game just popped in my head and went away.
I mean, you're missing the one that's gonna win.
Spider-Man,
for better or worse. What's that?
I was gonna say Spider-Man 2 should be on there.
I would say Spider-Man 2 is on there also, and then you're missing the
The Last of Us Part 1 PC.
Of course.
No,
yes, the remaster.
Well,
Remaster
hold on,
part one.
let me actually get my 6th one in, and I'm curious if it's the one I'm missing that's gonna win.
Yeah. So wait.
Oh,
So anything to say?
Starfield.
Starfield? Is that your final answer?
I would well.
So wait. So what was 5?
Okay, 5. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, and I think you're right there.
And I think Starfield's
but...
gonna get nominated. I think it deserves it too. Big work on that team.
Yeah.
So what's the one I'm missing?
Wow, I can't believe that you missed the one that's obviously gonna win, Baldur's Gate. I mean, that's
oh
the one
yeah,
that's
I heard. Is it gonna win?
I think it'll win, and not because it is the most fun game to play, but for what it has done to the genre of storytelling, the genre of CRPGs and storytelling in games. It's amazing to me the amount of work that studio did to be able to replicate for the player the experience of playing Dungeons and Dragons.
That is true. It is crazy.
I mean, you go into playing Dungeons and Dragons thinking, okay, the only limit to what I can do in Dungeons and Dragons is my imagination.
Yep, and that game rewards that insanely.
But I mean, it's not perfect, but it has pushed that.
Oh yeah, it's super impressive to me what it's capable of. From what I've played, I don't think I'll ever finish it. It's not that I don't like.
It's not like the most fun game to
play.
No. But as far as the amount of genre, I would consider that a genre defining. So title.
You think that's gonna win?
I
don't know if they have the money to pay for that.
To win. That's the thing. That's the problem here, right? It's all money driven. So I think probably Spider-Man has a better, bite at that apple, or Mario. Or
I like
Zelda.
to think it's not money driven. I think the most realistic of the 6 that I listed is between Spider-Man and Zelda, though.
I think as far as popularity and unfortunately the big name behind it, the producers, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Sorry, I keep.
No, you're good. It's a fair point to talk about if like the whole thing is rigged or whatnot. I don't know if it's rigged. Honestly, I think the pacing of the show is enough to show that they're getting money elsewhere, that they don't need to pay for there's other categories that are questionable enough, like the ones where it's like littered with like a bunch of like the gacha games and stuff. Like, yeah, okay.
Not enough Genshin Impact on there.
How Genshin I feel like last year Genshin won some awards. Like, how the hell did it win anything?
I can't even think about that game.
Anyways, though, I don't money or not. Yeah, that is fair. If I was to take anything off my list,
I think out of that list, the one that maybe would come off would be Street Fighter. I mean, only because it's
a fighting game. It's not a real game. That's
exactly.
That's the thing that pisses me off, though. Like about the Game Awards is just some of the things don't make sense that they choose to do in terms of nominations. It's like I feel like they don't like understand certain like in the cutoff date is weird. So like. So they cut off things like Smash Bros. Ultimate wasn't like eligible for awards when it came out because it released in like December. Yeah, but it's like, well, why can't it be eligible the next year?
Because it didn't technically come out that year.
Right, but in like the year, like why can't it be like I don't know, the
Oscars,
best thing I can think of, like why not have it be like the tax cutoff type of thing?
Yeah, no. Like the Oscars does it that way too, right?
Yeah.
If it comes out after if it comes out in January, February, or before the Oscars come out, then it's counted for that year, and vice versa. It ends at the day of the event.
Right.
Yeah. That's messed up.
But going back to what about your list? Is your list really similar to mine?
That was it, except for Starfield was off and Baldur's Gate was on.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. And to me, I think, honestly, for games that have come out this year, Baldur's Gate is head and shoulders over the way that it has literally, like I said, defined the genre of CRPGs and storytelling in games, right? Other games developing after this are going to look to that and be like, we need to do that or do that better somehow if we even want to succeed. And every other CRPG that comes out, or even RPGs in general, like let's say even like Grand Theft Auto, the way that it's going to come out and do storytelling.
Oh, that's true. I see what you're about to say.
They're going to look at that and be like, is my freedom of choice in that game the same as it is in
a way,
Gate, and why not?
In a way, you're saying like it's revolutionizing the industry.
Exactly. You think, in storytelling in video games.
I hope it does. I really do hope. and that is part of the fun of it.
Oh yeah, and then on the periphery of that is also really great graphics and really great voice acting, and they've made somehow this really boring RPG control into something that's exciting. Like whenever you land a hit, you feel it. They somehow have taken that and made all of those better as well. But I feel like what's amazing about it is every single choice that you make in that game feels important. Yeah. Every conversation, every selection, is going to have a ripple effect down the line. But somehow they've mapped that out all completely and built this functional story that no matter what you choose, as long as you survive, you will get to that end point, right? Your experiences along the way are going to be a little bit different, but you will get to that end, no matter how you decide as the player to choose it. And if games going forward don't have that, then they're going to be compared to it, especially RPGs. But I see that is just, you can still see behind it that this is still a mechanism. This is just still where developers have put it. Writers have made this. I would love to see the future of video games when they incorporate, and I hate to say it, artificial intelligence to be able to deliver that experience on a more expansive level. I don't know how it's going to be done, but I could see that coming into effect.
It'll be
in the future.
Interesting.
It certainly will. But that, to me, because of the way that it was developed, should win Game of the Year. Now, like I said, it's not the game that I had the most fun with. I think the game that I had the most fun with is Diablo, but that's comes with a lot of its own caveats there.
I think if I was to pick one to win, I don't know, I think, like, the one I think will win is Zelda. The one I want to win is Mario. But I really do get what you mean about Baldur's Gate. I honestly I don't know how I overlooked that so big, but no, it's a fair point to the reason why it should be nominated. Really genre enhancing and defining.
Yeah, and I feel like that should be the Game of the Year, right? Elden Ring was like that too. Elden Ring defined the open world genre in the sense that when you started in Elden Ring, no matter where you looked, whether it was, if you just over the horizon, there was something there that was interesting, right? They mapped it out so perfectly that somehow every single inch of that game had an interesting thing to discover. So it made an open world seem so jam-packed with stories and items and experiences that an open world never had before that. Now I feel like every open world game should be compared to Elden Ring in a sense. So I felt like that was genre forwarding, let's say, or pushing the boundaries. And I feel like a Game of the Year should be that.
Yeah.
Now that kind of brings up, this sort of prediction point. But is there anything that you wanted to put a cherry on top there?
No, I mean, I think you're on a good idea about, like, Game of the Year doesn't have to necessarily be, in a sense, the most fun game or even quite literally the best game, but maybe more so the best in terms of doing something for the industry as a whole. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point I've never really thought about. So basically, Suika game is Game of the Year. 2048 Puzzlers are so back. So.
Oh yes, of course. I gotta get in on that myself.
Yes, I do. Yes, you do. Though. All right. Well.
Yeah.
Anything else you gotta say? Or...
No, that was my question of the week. And you know what? If anybody out there has any comments on that,
we can. Yeah,
I would love to hear it.
Yeah, if you got any, if you also have any questions of your own, I always read comments. Like, I read comments on every single one of my videos, for better or for worse. But maybe if you ask a question, we might just talk about it or steal that idea. No credit given. Just kidding. Just kidding. Wink, wink, wink. Question
Love
mark?
that.
No, in all seriousness, yes. Feel free to talk in the comments. But other than that, I feel like we're both 2 Game Boys unplugged, ready to wrap up here, man.
Yeah, I think so. That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was a lot
awesome.
of fun. I mean, I can't believe that is the end of what is going to become the future of the biggest podcast on the planet.
Exactly. I can't
just
believe
witnessed
it.
it right there.
Cannot believe it. But yeah.
Oh, that was so much fun.
That was super fun.
So much fun.
Yes.
I feel like there's more that we could talk about. We can keep talking about this for hours.
Yeah.
But
then we'd only have one episode.
Yeah, but that's true. So we got, you got to keep everybody on the edge of their seats for next week.
Next time we talk about politics and video games.
Oh God! All right, okay. Politics and video games. I'm in. Dark Brandon is coming for you.
Shadow Mario versus Dark Brandon. Let's find out.
That's the new Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Is looking great. They need characters anyway.
Yes, they need characters. All right, but for real though, I appreciate anyone made this far. Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thanks for supporting this little passion project we got going on.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ty, again for setting this up.
Oh, thank you for being here. Setting aside, thank you everyone for being here, really. Setting aside a portion of your life to let us chew your ears off about video games.
There you go. And if you love video games as much as we do,
yeah,
I'm sure you'll have a good time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, stick around. Game Boys Unplugged will return on the next episode. And until next time, everyone, cast your votes for who will be in the next Smash Bros. My money is now on any politician. Good night, everyone.